Heineken. Heineken is one of the world's most popular brands of beer. It was established in 1873 in Amsterdam by Gerard Adriaan Heineken. He saw a market to introduce a beer culture in Amsterdam's cafes. Today, Heineken is brewed by 40 breweries in 39 countries around the world. Its website says, Heineken has been able to remain one of the world's leading consumer and corporate brands for more than 130 years. It confronts directly the challenges in many of our markets to deliver organic profit growth, but also focuses on building the long-term future of our brands and businesses. Heineken is one of the world's leading brewers in terms of sales volume and profitability. Its principal brands are Heineken and Amstel, but it also owns more than 200 international brands, including Foster's, Strongbow Cider, Kingfisher, Tiger, and Newcastle Brown Ale. General Electric. The General Electric Company, or GE, is an American multinational conglomerate. It is usually listed in the top 3 largest companies in the world. The company was started by the inventor Thomas Edison in 1890. He originally called it Edison General Electric. A series of successful mergers made the company into an industry giant. It is involved in aviation, electronics, finance, healthcare, entertainment, and more. It employs over 300,000 people and has yearly revenues in excess of $150 billion. Its current slogan is Imagination at Work. Its website says, "We consider our culture to be among our innovations. Over decades, our leaders have built GE's culture, a place for creating and bringing big ideas to life. Today, that culture is the unifying force for our many business units around the world." Ferrari. Ferrari is one of the greatest names in automobile history. It conjures up images of speed, power, and beauty. It was founded by Enzo Ferrari in 1929 as a racing team. He had no plans to manufacture cars for the road. The original name was Scuderia Ferrari, which translates as Team Ferrari. He decided to make street-legal cars in 1947. The company has since enjoyed unrivaled success in Formula One motorsport and an unparalleled reputation and glamorous image for its sports cars. The company is famous for its Ferrari red cars and the prancing horse logo. Ferrari also branched out into merchandising its brand. It makes sunglasses, luxury pens, perfume, high-tech bicycles and watches. It also opened Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, where visitors can ride on a special roller coaster to experience the G-force of a 0 to 100 km an hour in 2 seconds F1 car. Hertz. Hertz is the world's leading vehicle renting organization. It operates from approximately 7,700 locations in 145 countries worldwide. It is the largest general-use car rental brand in the world and is the #1 airport car rental brand in the US and at 69 major airports in Europe. Hertz's worldwide reservations centers handle approximately 40 million phone calls and receive 30 million reservations annually. The company started in 1923 when John Hertz of the Yellow Cab and Yellow Truck and Coach Manufacturing Company bought a car renting company from Walter L. Jacobs, the pioneer of auto renting. He called it the Hertz Drive Yourself System. Hertz's mission is to be the most customer-focused, cost-efficient vehicle and equipment rental leasing company in Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is a global investment banking and securities firm. It also deals in investment management and other financial services. Most of its clients are institutions, governments, pension funds, and very wealthy people. It was founded in 1869 by a German immigrant to New York, Marcus Goldman. His son-in-law, Samuel Sachs, joined the firm in 1885, and their company became Goldman Sachs. They joined the New York Stock Exchange in 1896 and have been a major force on it ever since. The company's website says it highly values its employees. Our principal assets are our people, capital and reputation. We are committed to maintaining a culture of diversity, integrity, and strong business principles. The company usually only employs those with MBAs from leading business schools. Its annual revenues are in excess of $50 billion. FedEx. FedEx, or Federal Express, is an international logistics company. It began operations in 1973 and has grown to serve and reach every corner of the world. The company website gives an overview. FedEx provides customers and businesses worldwide with a broad portfolio of transportation, e-commerce, and business services, consistently ranked among the world's most admired and trusted employers. FedEx inspires its more than 275,000 employees and contractors to remain absolutely, positively focused on safety, the highest ethical and professional standards, and the needs of their customers and communities. FedEx is regularly honored as a top company to work for and is often on Fortune magazine's list of the most admired global companies. Heinz. The H.J. Heinz Company, commonly known as Heinz, is an American-based food company. Its website says, "Throughout the world, Heinz is synonymous with ketchup. We sell 650 million bottles of Heinz ketchup every year, and approximately 2 single-serve packets of ketchup for every man, woman, and child on the planet." The company is also known for its baked beans and soups and the 57 varieties slogan. The company was founded in Pittsburgh in 1869 by Henry John Heinz. His business ideals are still important to the company today. Its website states, "Heinz conducts business in an ethical manner, guided by the enduring principles of our founder and an unwavering commitment to integrity." Everyone knows the slogans "Beans means Heinz," and if it isn't Heinz, it isn't ketchup. The Financial Times. The Financial Times, FT, is a respected British newspaper reporting on international business. It was founded in 1888 by James Sheridan to provide news to financiers. In 1957, it was bought by the publishing company Pearson. It is published every morning and is the only paper to provide full daily reports on the London Stock Exchange and world markets. It has a daily circulation of around 500,000. The paper is as famous for its salmon pink coloured paper as it is for its quality information. It's also famous for the FTSE FTSE 100 index, which it created with the London Stock Exchange to give an indication of the value of London stocks and shares. The biggest rival for the FT is the Wall Street Journal. The FT's website, ft.com, has over 2 million registered users and more than 125,000 digital subscribers. Guinness. Guinness is a popular Irish alcoholic drink famous throughout the world. It is a type of beer called a dry stout. It has a distinctive burnt flavour from the use of roasted barley in the brewing process. The company was founded in 1759 by Arthur Guinness at the St James Gate Brewery, Dublin. Guinness is still made there today. In 1769, Guinness started exporting his ale. 6.5 barrels were sent to England. Today, Guinness is exported all over the world, making it Ireland's most successful ever export. Guinness has run some very clever advertising campaigns, most notable Pure Genius and Guinness is good for you. There are many studies that prove Guinness has beneficial health effects. For a time, doctors advised pregnant women to drink a little Guinness. The company has stopped this slogan and now promotes responsible drinking in moderation. Gillette. Gillette is a leading brand of razors and personal hygiene products. It was founded in 1895. It produced the first safety razors using disposable blades in 1902. In 1958, it produced its first adjustable razor for the model for most of today's razors. The company is famous for bringing out different designs of razors, each claiming to produce a much better, closer shave than the ones before. Its slogan is, "The best a man can get." The brand markets itself as providing high-performance styling and grooming products for men. More than 600 million men worldwide shave with a Gillette product. Gillette was bought by Procter & Gamble in 2005, and the name, the Gillette Company, disappeared. The company also produces shaving gels and creams, hair care products, and deodorants. Ford. The Ford Motor Company is one of the world's largest automakers. It was founded by Henry Ford in 1903. He made the company famous for mass-producing cheap family cars on moving assembly lines. The Model T Ford is an important part of automobile history. His production methods were copied by companies all over the world. The company has stayed in family hands since the beginning, making it one of the largest family-controlled businesses in the world today. Ford has an annual revenue of over $100 billion and employs around 250,000 people worldwide. The company also owns Sweden's Volvo and has shares in Japan's Mazda and the UK's Aston Martin. The faltering global economy means most of Ford's profits now come from financing car loans through the Ford Motor Credit Company. Gap. The Gap, Inc. is an American clothing and accessories retail chain based in San Francisco. It was founded in 1969 by Don G. Fisher and Doris F. Fisher. Don Fisher said, "I created Gap with a simple idea, to make it easier to find a pair of jeans. We remain committed to that basic principle." The company has 4 brands besides Gap: Banana Republic, Old Navy, Piperlime, and Athleta. The Gap brand includes Gap Kids, Baby Gap, and Gap Body. The company employs roughly 135,000 people in nearly 3,500 stores worldwide. The chain's annual revenue is around $15 billion a year. It is currently the world's second largest clothing retailer. The company website outlines its philosophy. The focus at Gap Inc. is pretty simple. Customers, creativity, doing what's right, and delivering results. Together, we call it wearing your passion. Gucci. Gucci, or the House of Gucci, is a leading brand of fashion and leather goods. Its name is synonymous with style and luxury. It was founded in 1921 by fashion designer Guccio Gucci. Many of his designs are still with the company today, most notably the bamboo handle handbag. He also designed the company's trademark green and red striped finishing. Gucci has almost 300 stores worldwide and an annual revenue in excess of $2.5 billion. The group has become a major force in the industry by acquiring other brands such as Alexander McQueen, Stella McCartney, and Yves Saint Laurent. According to Businessweek magazine, Gucci was in 41st position on the 2009 Top Global 100 Brands. Gucci is also the biggest-selling Italian brand in the world. Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson is an American motorbike maker that has established a cult following for its machines. It was founded by William S. Harley and his childhood friend Arthur Davidson in 1901. They spent several years trying to make a motorbike that would sell. They started production in 1907 in their factory in Milwaukee, which is still the company headquarters today. The company has survived despite America's Great Depression and competition from Japanese companies that finished off most of the world's other motorcycle makers. Harley produces big bikes, over 750cc, designed for cruising. They have a distinctive Harley rumbling noise. The company has a very loyal following, which it develops through HOG, the Harley Owners Group. The company's 2009 revenue was over $4 billion. Almost 5% of this was from the licensing of its logo. Factories. I have a strange hobby. It's visiting factories. I'm really interested to see how things work and how they are made. I've learnt so many things on my factory visits. Factories are amazing. They are like mini cities. The thing that surprises me most is how everything works together. Everyone knows exactly what to do and when to do it. Even the robots. Car factories are cool, but very noisy. A car assembly line is like a giant ballet dance, with everything moving perfectly together. It's quite easy to visit factories. All you have to do is go to their home page and see if they have visiting times, or write to them. The best factories to visit are ones that produce food and drinks. You always get free stuff. Unfortunately, you don't get a free car at car factories. Family. What does family mean to you? In a perfect world, all families should be happy and everyone should get on well together. I know a lot of families that have many problems. Brothers and sisters who don't like each other. Parents who never talk to each other. I wonder why this is. How can you live so close to your family members and feel apart from them? There is a lot of talk in the news about the breakdown of family life. Divorce is rising everywhere in the world. This means single parents have less time to spend with their children, which creates problems. Maybe the stress of modern life puts too much pressure on families. It seems as though family life was better a generation or two ago. Is this true for families in your country? Crime. Why do we have crime? When will it all stop? It's sad that there is so much crime in our society. It hurts so many people. Most people in the world just want to live happily and be good neighbours. Why do some people turn to crime? Money is a big reason. Many criminals pickpocket, steal, kidnap, or even kill people to get money. There are many terrible crimes in the world. Perhaps the worst is ethnic cleansing. This is a crime against humanity. Many people are killed because of their colour or religion. People who commit this crime rarely go to prison. Have you ever been a victim of crime? What do you think we need to do to reduce crime rates? Perhaps you should write to your government. Culture. I'm really interested in the culture of other countries. I don't know why, but I always think other cultures are more interesting than my own culture. Every time I travel, I learn wonderful, strange, amazing, and interesting things about other cultures. One of the biggest surprises I had was when I went to the USA as a child. I'm English, so I thought Americans had the same culture as me. When I went to America, I understood Americans and Brits are very different people. Understanding the culture of other people is very important. It helps us all to get along. If everyone really tried to learn about other cultures, the world would be a more peaceful place. The world is becoming smaller, so I think this is happening. Famine. There is no way that famine should be a problem in today's world. We are so rich. Companies have billions of dollars. Countries have trillions. It's a real shame that people do not give enough to help famine victims. It's a sin. There is more than enough food in this world to feed everyone. Government leaders need to tell the world why they let people die of hunger. Even the United Nations can't persuade governments to give enough money to help the starving. Of course there are good governments and bad ones. The bad ones often let their own people starve. The leaders steal the country's money. Some countries have a famine, but their state TV tells people there are bumper crops. That's shocking. Fashion. Have you ever thought how strange fashion is? People tell us what clothes to wear. That's weird. Fashion stores tell us what is in this summer or this winter. People then buy the same clothes and look like everyone else because they want to feel trendy. The thing is, fashion is about being an individual, but then we all wear clothes that are the same as everyone else's. Keeping up with fashion is expensive these days. Everyone is into brand fashion. Have you seen how much the most fashionable sneakers are? How can kids afford those? The craziest fashion is the luxury brands. People spend a month's salary or more on a handbag or watch. That's crazy. I'm happy with an unknown brand at half the price. I don't mind being Current events. I love the news and current events. I'm addicted to what's happening in the world. It doesn't matter what kind of news it is, I love watching it, even if it's from countries I've never heard of. I'll even watch the same news program 3 or 4 times and not get bored. I guess it's so fascinating because it's real. I get really interested in a story when it breaks, then like to follow it as it unfolds. Following current events makes you quite knowledgeable. I know most of the world's capitals and most of the world's leaders. Watching the news is really looking at history happening now. But you never know what's going to happen next. Every time you turn on the news or read a news story, you will find something unexpected. Cybercrime. I don't think people understand cybercrime. It's only just started. In the future, it's going to be a huge problem. There have already been a few amazing examples. A few years ago, the whole internet in Latvia was attacked by another country. Cyberspace has become a new battleground. Countries spy on each other. If there's a war, it's possible one country could attack the other country's internet. This would mean all communication, transport, etc. would stop. It would cause huge damage to hospitals and other important buildings. But cybercrime is happening today to ordinary people. Have you ever heard of phishing? That's with a PH, not F. You really need to be very careful about what information you put online. Apartments. In the USA, they're called apartments. In the UK, they're called flats. They are a modern invention. I don't particularly like them. I don't think it's good for so many people to live so close together. It's not good for people to live on top of each other. I don't understand how people can live above the second floor. It's not natural to live in the sky. The thing I hate most about apartments are the lifts. Americans say elevator. And the fact there's no garden. More and more people are moving into apartments. This creates problems with overcrowding. There aren't enough spaces to park your car. There's nowhere to throw your rubbish, and you have to wait ages to reach your floor. Give me a little house with a little garden any day. Art. I'm a great art lover. I look at beautiful paintings and sculptures and wish I could be artistic. I can't draw or paint to save my life. I wonder why some people are so talented and can create amazing pictures, when other people, like me, can't even draw good matchstick figures. I would like to fill my house with art from all over the world. It's interesting to see how different cultures have different kinds of art. There's nothing better than visiting art galleries when you go to another country. I prefer more traditional art. I don't really understand a lot of modern art. I look at an exhibit of a pile of bricks in a museum, but can't see how it's art. I always laugh when my children say, "Daddy, I can do better than that." I often think they can. Electricity. Electricity is one of the most important inventions ever. It is the thing that powers the earth. If there was no electricity, we'd be back in the Dark Ages. Few people stop and think just how amazing electricity is. With the flick of a switch, you can power almost anything. Think about what would happen if there was no electricity. We'd have no TV, no computers, no traffic signals. It would be like going back to living in caves. There are a few negative points about electricity, of course. Number one, it's dangerous. Thousands of people die each year from electrocuting themselves or in electrical fires. And number two, it isn't good for the environment. Most electricity comes from burning coal, and that creates greenhouse gases. Email. Email certainly keeps me busy. I never used to write as many letters as I do now. In the good old days before computers, we wrote real letters with paper and envelopes. I wrote 1 or 2 letters a week. But now with email, my inbox is never empty. There's always someone mailing me. I would like just one day where I'm free of email. The sad thing is, very few mails I get are interesting. I get loads of spam, junk mail trying to sell me things I don't want. I also get lots of mail from people asking me to do stuff. Do this, do that, reply ASAP. It's too much sometimes. The one good thing about email is that you can get things done quickly. I can email a company in another country and they can mail me back in 2 minutes. Dancing. I have loved dancing ever since I can remember. It was a part of my life when I was growing up, and it is still important to me now. It has to be the best way to exercise. What can be better than dancing to your favourite songs? I love going to clubs and discos. I can dance all night long. I never get tired of it. When I was small, I used to go to school discos. I'd also dance at the parties my parents, friends and neighbours had. I don't think I'll ever stop dancing. I also love looking at dancing. Ballet is beautiful. Dances from all over the world are beautiful. I think the life of a professional dancer must be a good one. One thing that always amazes me is how much children love dancing. I think dancing must be in their blood. Danger. Danger is everywhere. It's all around us. That's what I've decided. I thought about danger the other day and decided we live in a dangerous world. Even our house is full of danger. There are many chemicals in our cosmetics, cleaners, fridges, computers that are not good for us. The electric wiring could go wrong and electrocute us. We could fall down the stairs or slip on the kitchen floor. And then when we leave our house, we enter a dangerous world. Cars travelling at speed, people holding cigarettes, construction workers with heavy objects above our heads. All of these things present danger. Just turn on the news or open a local paper to see how much danger there is. I think I'll stay in bed today. Books. Don't you think books are the best thing in the world? I can't remember a time in my life when I wasn't reading a book. I still have memories of being in my school library when I was about 5 years old. I have been a bit of a bookworm since then. You will usually see me with my head buried in a book. I love all kinds of books. Novels are great for getting to know other worlds and cultures. A good book is one where you never want the story to end. I also like autobiographies because I think it's interesting to read about people's lives. Encyclopedias are cool too. You can learn everything about everything in these. I still prefer books to the internet. Books need to be in your hand and made of paper. Business. Business isn't so good at the moment. In fact, it's the worst time for businesses for decades. Many businesses are going bust because of the global financial crisis. Even sound businesses like the car industry and electronics are going through a really bad time. Many small businesses have gone out of business. It's a real shame because so many lives are being ruined. With a lot of businesses, it's a real fight for survival. I really respect people for trying to make a go of their business. I don't have much business sense. I wouldn't know where to start in opening my own business. I suppose the best thing would be to look at business startups on the internet. An online business might be good. There seems to be less risk. Education. Education is one of the most important things in our lives. Don't you agree? It can make the difference between success and failure. An education can bring us knowledge and make us rich. In rich countries, people are lucky to have good schools. Children start learning from a very young age. They can further their education and go to higher education or university. In Japan, there are even private schools for babies to learn English. It's a shame that in many rich countries, many children don't want to learn. Perhaps schools need to find better ways to teach so children want to learn. It's sad that in many parts of the world, children want to learn but can't. Make sure you never stop learning. Education is the key to a better future. Eggs. Eggs are great. Where would we be without them? They are so useful. I can't imagine life, or cooking, without them. There are many ways of cooking eggs for breakfast: fried eggs, scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, etc. There are even many ways of cooking these. You can have a runny or hard fried egg, or even have it sunny side up. You can have soft or hard boiled eggs, and fluffy scrambled eggs. There are also many things to put on top of eggs: mayonnaise, ketchup, salt, soy sauce. Each country has something different. I like cooking with eggs. I particularly like breaking them. I can now do it with one hand without breaking the yolk. Sometimes it gets messy and the egg white starts dripping down your arm. Busy. Are you busy? Do you lead a busy life? It seems we get busier and busier in our lives. I hate being busy. I'd much rather have nothing to do. Being busy makes me stressed, and I end up making mistakes or forgetting something. Who's the busiest person you know? I bet he or she is really stressed. The busy people I know are always looking ahead to their next holiday. And then, in their holiday, they are busy doing other things. I think we busy ourselves with too many things. We need to learn to relax and take things slowly. Even at work we have to look busy, even if we're not. When the boss comes, we tell our friends, "Look busy." That's silly. It would be great if the word busy disappeared from the English language. Coffee. Scientists and doctors can't make their minds up about coffee. One study says it's really bad for us, and the next report says it's good for us. I've even read that 10 cups a day is good for our brain. I like a cup of coffee at certain times of the day. I must have a coffee first thing in the morning. I can't survive without my morning coffee. I have another cup or two when I get to work, and that's it. I never drink coffee after lunchtime. If I do, I can't sleep at night. The only time I drink coffee in the evening is if I go to a nice restaurant. Coffee seems a lot more complicated these days. When I was younger, it was just coffee. Now it's latte, frappuccino, and all kinds of other strange words. Death. People say that death is the only thing in life that is certain. That's true. I'm not afraid of dying, but I do think it's a sad thing. I'd like to live forever. I like life. I want to see my children's children's children grow up. People have different views on death in different cultures. In some countries you die and go to heaven. In other countries you die and come back to earth as something else. Some people celebrate people's death because they had a good life. In other countries, death is a sad and dark affair. I know of many countries where death is a taboo subject. People just don't talk about it. I have no problems talking about death, especially to my family. I think it's useful to tell everyone what I want to happen when I die. Dentists. I'm afraid of the dentist. Always have been, for as long as I can remember. Even if the dentist is really, really kind and gentle, I'm still afraid. Even if the dental surgery is colourful and there's relaxing music, I'm still afraid. Dentists for me haven't changed a bit. When I was a child, I hated the sound of the drill. That sound is still there today. When I was young, I hated the smell. Same smell today. I can't wait for the day scientists invent something so we never need dentists. The strange thing is, when I was younger, I wanted to be a dentist. I thought it would be good to treat people just like me. I felt I would understand others who have the same fear. I think I would have been a good dentist. Computers. It's hard to believe that no one had computers a few years ago. I wonder how people lived. There must have been a lot of paperwork. I can't imagine writing everything by hand. I also wonder how everything worked without computers. We need computers today for everything. Hospitals, airports, the police. Nothing can work without computers. I'm sure I'd be 10 times busier than now if I didn't have a computer. Imagine having to find a piece of paper and an envelope and then walking down the street to mail a letter. I love my computer. It makes everything in my life so convenient. Sure, it freezes and crashes sometimes. Sure, I lose some data. But that's not often. Most of the time, my computer is like my best friend. Cosmetic surgery. Would you like to change your face and body? Would you like movie star looks? A lot of people want to do this. They pay lots of money to go to a cosmetic surgeon and change their appearance. The most common operation we call a nose job. People who are unhappy with their nose have it reshaped. Other people want their wrinkles to disappear to make themselves look younger. People also go under the knife and have things made bigger or smaller. I think this is a waste of money. I'm not the best looking person in the world, but I would never consider plastic surgery, even if it was free. Some people have so many operations they end up looking like they're made of plastic. I'd rather stay looking human. Diamonds. There's a famous song that says, "Diamonds are a girl's best friend." Is that true? Do all women like diamonds? They are certainly very beautiful, especially when you see them sparkling. But really, only rich people can afford diamonds. When I bought my wife's wedding ring, we could only afford a smallish diamond. There were lots of beautiful rings in the store with huge diamonds, but they all cost an arm and a leg. One day I'll buy her a big diamond as a surprise. Nowadays you have to worry where diamonds come from. Many countries sell diamonds to buy guns and tanks. These are called blood diamonds. If you buy a diamond, make sure it has a certificate so you know which country it came from. Eating. Eating is the best thing ever. I love eating. Any time of the day or night I can eat, and eat, and eat, and eat. I have a very big appetite. I always have. My mother used to complain about how much I ate. She used to ask me if I had a hole in my stomach. Eating is very, very satisfying. There are many different aspects of eating. It fills us up and stops us feeling hungry. Food tastes so good, and eating it makes us feel very happy. Sometimes I feel like I'm in heaven when I'm eating. especially chocolate fudge cheesecake. Yum! Eating is also a great social activity. I love eating with my family, with my friends, or even at work. Eating can also be an international experience. Eating is great just about anywhere you eat. Cosmetics. I wish we didn't need cosmetics. We spend so much time and money on them. And for what? Only to put them all on again in the morning. If you think about it, they're amazingly expensive. Why does a lipstick or a small tube of cream cost so much? The really expensive cosmetics don't actually make you look that different than really cheap ones. A lot depends, too, on your skill, choosing the right colours to match your face, and how you put your makeup on. I sometimes laugh at the ladies selling cosmetics in department stores. They're meant to be experts, but they look like clowns. I mean, do they really need to paint their faces? One thing I worry about is whether the chemicals damage your skin. Credit cards. Many years ago, I read that credit cards were the thing of the future. Credit card companies were telling us that plastic would replace cash. Well, this hasn't happened. People are still using notes and coins. The internet has increased the use of credit cards, but many people worry about putting their card details online. Lots of personal info gets stolen by fake sites pretending to be famous banks or online stores. Personally, I love credit cards. I always prefer to pay by card than by cash. When you use your card, you get air miles, and every 6 months you can cash them in for presents. I do worry about credit card security. I keep waiting to see a huge purchase on my statement that I didn't make. Chocolate. Anyone who does not absolutely love chocolate is mad. I don't think I know anyone who dislikes it. Some of my friends say they hate white chocolate or dark chocolate, but then they like some other kind. I think chocolate is one of the best inventions ever. It is also one of life's true pleasures. There's nothing better than having your whole mouth full of chocolate and letting it melt. I love pushing the chocolate up against the roof of my mouth and then moving it all around. Yum! I eat chocolate every day. I know it's bad for our teeth and makes us fat, but I don't care. I prefer to think about the health benefits of chocolate. I've read many articles that say chocolate is good for us. Christmas. I think Christmas is one of the happiest times of the year. Everyone has a smile on their face, especially children. It's such an exciting time for kids. They can't wait to open their presents and play with all of their new games and toys. It's a nice time for adults too. They can catch up with their families and relax. Traditionally, the mother of the family is busiest at Christmas. She does most of the Christmas shopping and wraps the presents. Of course, she also spends hours cooking Christmas dinner. Let's not forget the true meaning of Christmas, though. It is not about shopping and Christmas trees and Frosty the Snowman. It's all about love for each other and peace around the world. Let's hope this message. Cars. Are you into cars? My brother is. He's car crazy. He buys car magazines, watches car programs on TV, and spends hours looking at car websites. He knows the name, maker, engine size, and top speed of every car on the planet. Every time we go out, he talks non-stop about the cars he sees. I like cars. They are interesting. If I had a lot of money, I'd like to buy a sports car. I'm saving up for a small car at the moment. I'll probably buy a hybrid car that is good for the environment. My brother thinks these are boring. He says a car should be powerful and fast. I don't agree. I think cars should get you from A to B and be big enough for me and my friends. I also prefer smaller cars because they are easier to park. Airports. Aren't airports strange places? There's so much happening in them. People coming, people going, people crying with sadness because they're going away, people crying with joy because they've arrived. Big airports are almost like small towns. It seems like you walk across a town by the time you check in and get to your departure gate. The thing I like most about airports is people watching. There are people from all over the world. I also like how everything fits and works together. You check your luggage in and then it disappears before you see it again at the next airport. I still think airports need improving. There's not a lot to do there. Airports really need to have an entertainment area so people can kill time. Accidents. I wonder how many accidents I've had in my life. I've had a few serious ones where I've ended up in hospital. Traffic accidents are the worst. They are always painful. I haven't had too many work-related accidents. I suppose that's because I do office work, and that's not so dangerous. Most of my accidents are those around the house. I've lost count of the number of times I've hit my thumb with a hammer. I'm also really good at standing up and hitting my head on something. I'm not as bad as my friend, though. He's a real accident looking for somewhere to happen. Almost every time we meet, he has some story to tell about his latest accident. He's quite unbelievable. I think I'd be very worried if I were his mother. Clothes. I have too many clothes. I have many clothes I've only worn once. Sometimes I even find something at the back of a drawer that I never even wore. I bought it, put it away, and then forgot about it. I'm sure I don't need so many clothes. I don't think anyone really needs 11 pairs of jeans and 32 sweaters. I won't tell you how many pairs of shoes I've got. That's way too embarrassing. The simple truth is, I love clothes and I love shopping. Maybe I have a problem. I'm sure I'd be a lot richer if I didn't buy so many clothes. I like brands, so the clothes I buy are quite expensive. One day I'm going to have a big clear-out. I'll take all the clothes I no longer wear and give them to charity. Children. Children are angels. Most of the time this is true. I'm very lucky because my 2 children really are the greatest angels. I think I won the children lottery with my kids. I could not have asked for lovelier, happier, sweeter little children. They have brought me endless amounts of joy since the second they were born. Everything they do fascinates me. Everything they say makes me smile. Watching them grow up is my greatest pleasure. In a way, it's a little sad. I always want them to stay the age they're at now. When they were 18 months old, I thought that was the cutest age. I thought the same when they were 2, and then 3, and then 4. I guess however old they are, they're perfect. I wish all the children in the world were as happy as mine. Alcohol. I hate alcohol. I really don't understand how or why people drink it. The smell of alcohol on people's breath is disgusting. It's expensive and it gives you a bad headache. I drank when I was much younger, but I haven't touched a drop for years. I hated hangovers, so I decided to stop drinking altogether. I have a much better time without alcohol. People say they need to drink to relax. They drink and just act and look stupid. Their face goes red and they can't walk in a straight line. Alcohol is also the most damaging drug in society. That's what I think, anyway. Alcohol causes many illnesses, traffic accidents, fights, and domestic violence. If you banned alcohol, people would be healthier, richer, and have a better family life. Aliens. There are aliens out there, somewhere. I strongly believe this. Not sure what they look like, though. I really doubt they are green, like they are in science fiction movies. I also don't think they look like us, but I'm sure they exist. I just don't think we'll ever see any, or find any. They live too far away. If you think about it logically, there has to be aliens out there. All a planet needs is to be warm and have water, and life will exist. There are billions and billions of planets in the universe, so there are probably millions and millions that have life, alien life. It's also likely that some of the aliens are much more intelligent than we are. I wonder what we'd do if really intelligent aliens visited Earth. What would we ask them? Animals. I am a real animal lover. I'm fascinated by the whole animal kingdom. I loved animals when I was a kid. I used to read every book I could find on animals. I knew all the different animal species. The most exciting thing for me was going to the zoo. I would spend hours just watching the animals walk around, sit, or even sleep. When I was older, I went on a safari to Tanzania. I saw real wild animals in the wild. Everyone should do this once in their lives. Looking at animals in their natural habitat is a real honor. Now I'm worried about the future of many animals. Some of my favorite animals are in danger of dying out. We really need to change our lifestyle so our children can have the chance of seeing animals in the wild. Anti-aging creams. The other day I saw an advert on the internet asking for volunteers to test a new skin cream. It was an anti-aging product. How is it possible for a cream or lotion to stop us looking old? I don't think any skincare goods can make us look younger. I certainly don't believe cosmetics companies that say their expensive creams can remove wrinkles. They just want to make lots of money. Why do people believe them? How do they know their creams work? They did not test their products on thousands of people over 50 years. I think if a person uses an anti-aging cream for 50 years, they would not even look a year younger when they are 60. This means it's a huge waste of money. Only healthy living can keep us looking younger. Actors. Being an actor must be great. I really wish I could act. I'd love to have the confidence to act in front of people. Being a member of the audience at the theatre is great, but acting on stage is better. I wonder what it's like to be a movie star. I think you need to be beautiful or handsome to be a successful Hollywood or Bollywood actor. They all look great. Actors are very lucky. They get paid huge amounts of money to do what they love doing. My favourite actors are all dead now. I really like the actors in the old black and white movies. They all looked so cool. Actors in the old days seemed to be more glamorous than today's actors. The best thing about being an actor is that all of your friends are famous too. Blood. I hate the sight of blood. Looking at it makes me go all weak at the knees. I can't even look at my own blood. I don't know why. The thing I hate most is giving blood for a medical check. I fainted once after I saw my blood in a small bottle. If I have a nosebleed, I have to sit down for 30 minutes before I feel better. It's impossible for me to watch operations on TV. I wish I could donate blood to others. I can't. I know giving blood is really important, but I'm not brave enough. One thing about blood I do find interesting is blood types. I think your blood type can affect your personality. I know that in some countries, people with blood type A would not be a good romantic match for someone with blood type O. Climate change. Climate change is one of the most worrying things for our planet. Many politicians and scientists say it is the biggest danger we face. I read almost every day that climate change is changing the Earth forever. Many species of animal, fish, insect, frog, etc. are dying. The ice caps in the Arctic and Antarctica are melting. Our weather is changing, so places are getting warmer or colder, or are having more and stronger hurricanes. We all need to do our bit so that climate change does not destroy us. It's important to cut down on things that produce greenhouse gases. These warm the planet and change the climate. Doing simple things like turning off lights and recycling paper all help. Advertising. What is advertising? Is it telling the truth, or is it making things look better than they really are? Or is it lying? Companies pay a lot of money for adverts. Some of the ads you see in glossy magazines look like art. The commercials on TV look like mini-movies. Do they really change our behavior? Do adverts make you buy things? I think some advertising is a form of lying. Is BMW really the ultimate driving machine, like they say in their ads? British Airways used to say they were the world's favourite airline, but had to stop saying it because it wasn't true. Personally, I get tired of watching ads on television. They always interrupt a good programme. I like ads in magazines. They're usually quite interesting. Advice. I don't know what I would do without my friends' advice. They've all given me so much good advice over the years. It's sometimes very difficult to make decisions on your own. Listening to advice can be great for helping you make the right decision. The greatest piece of advice I've received was from my father. He told me I can do anything in life if I try hard. He was right. I am now passing on his advice to my own children. Right now I need some advice on money. My financial advisors are telling me to be very careful. That's very sound advice. I would advise anyone to do the same. Someone asked me the other day about the worst piece of advice I've ever had. I couldn't answer. I don't think I've had any really bad advice. Carbon footprint. We have to do something about pollution. Even though there are warnings about global warming, companies don't do anything to reduce pollution. Our sky, air, rivers, beaches and countryside are becoming rubbish dumps. The air is so polluted it is giving children breathing problems. Polluted rivers have no fish left in them, and beaches are too dangerous to walk on because of the garbage everywhere. It seems a lot of people don't care. I think there should be big fines for polluters. I don't mind paying more for things if they can be made with less pollution. The problem is that companies are more interested in profits than pollution. We have only just started looking at our carbon footprint.
Careers. Choosing a career is one of the biggest decisions we make in life. It used to be that we chose only one career. People would start a job when they were 18, 19 or 20 and stay in that same career for life. Their career path was quite straightforward. Nowadays, it is normal for people to change careers 5, 6, 7 times. New technology and globalization means things change quickly. We need to study and keep up with all the changes. I've had 4 different careers now. I like moving from one job to another. It means life never gets boring. It's much better to keep learning different things in different careers. I have no idea what career I'll choose next. Perhaps one that doesn't even exist today. Being afraid. An American president once said, "The only thing you have to fear is fear itself." Can't remember which president, but never mind. I think that's an interesting quote. It's so true most of the time. We all spend a lot of time worried or afraid that something bad will happen, and then nothing happens. It is the fear that frightens us, not the thing that might or might not happen. And then there are phobias. Millions of people are afraid of something that the rest of the world thinks is quite normal. How can you be afraid of things like peanut butter? There's actually a fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Amazing! Fear is sometimes good. It makes us alert and keeps us safe in a dangerous situation. Being married. Getting married is one of the happiest days of anyone's life. Being married is also full of happiness, but there are also many difficulties. It isn't always easy to be married. You have to put up with your spouse's bad habits and moods forever. You have to negotiate and compromise on many things, from who's first in the bathroom in the mornings to where you go on vacation. Of course, being married also has many wonderful sides to it. You have a lifelong friend who will love you forever. You share many wonderful times together and support each other through good and bad times. And you grow old together and look back on years of happy memories. I think being married is great for your soul. Airplanes. Airplanes are amazing. How does something so big and heavy get off the ground? I'm always amazed at how the millions of different parts work together. Travelling by airplane is always a wonderful experience. I don't care whether economy class is cramped and has no space. I like playing with the in-flight entertainment system, especially now they have all the latest movies. I also love airplane food. Many of my friends say it's disgusting, but I love it. I often ask the passenger next to me if I can have the dessert or roll they don't want. The only thing I don't like about planes is turbulence. When the airplane hits those air pockets, I always worry we'll crash. But I once read that turbulence has never caused an airplane to crash. Bad habits. What are your bad habits? I think everyone has bad habits. Not everyone agrees
on what bad habits are. Some smokers don't think smoking is a bad habit. Young people don't think listening to loud music on the train is a bad habit. In Japan, slurping your noodles is a sign that you enjoy your food, but making a noise while eating in England is not good. Have you ever tried to break your bad habits? I have quit smoking and have stopped leaving things laying around the house. I wish other people would stop their bad habits. I get annoyed when people are late for meetings or talk loudly on their phones in public. I also think many motorists need to think about their driving habits. Perhaps I should point out their bad habits. Beauty. People say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That means if someone thinks someone else is beautiful, then they are beautiful. I think the idea of beauty is interesting. Why do we think some things or some people are beautiful and others aren't? Some people think a building is beautiful, while others think the opposite. People nowadays spend too much time and money on beauty. I agree with the expression, beauty is only skin deep. This means that what's really important is someone's heart and character, not what they look like on the outside. It's a little strange and unfair that you have to be beautiful to be a top actress or even a newsreader on TV. I think there should be equal rights for most of us non-beautiful people. Calories. Do you ever think about or worry about the number of calories you eat and drink every day? It's not really something I thought about when I was younger, but now I have to think about my calorie intake. I'm putting on weight and so need to be more careful with what I eat. This is difficult because all of the yummiest food has the most calories. I've found an answer to this problem. If I do lots of exercise, I can eat what I want and not have to worry about calories. I burn off 500 calories when I jog for an hour. This means I can have a pizza and dessert and not feel guilty. I wish there was more information about calories in restaurants. It would make it easier for me to know what to eat and what to avoid. Being single. Being single has its advantages and disadvantages. I think it's better to stay single when you're young. You need to live and have fun. You also need the freedom to do what you want, when you want. Being single in your 20s gives you lots of time to go travelling, see the world, and experience different things. Most people like being single in their 20s and then want to settle down in their 30s. I think being single later in life can be sad. All of your friends are married or attached, and people tend to go out and party less. I think being single when you're old would be very lonely. The longer you stay single, the harder it becomes to settle down. In some countries, people think you're strange if you're single later on in life. Birthdays. Birthdays are brilliant. I'm 62 years old and I still love them. I don't think I've ever had a bad birthday. In fact, I think birthdays get better and better the older you become. Sure, kids love birthdays because they get presents and get to eat cake, but when you get older, birthdays make you feel special. It's your special day. Even if no one wishes you a happy birthday, it's still your special day. A lot of my friends think I'm mad. They hate their birthdays because it means they are another year older. I hope I get to celebrate my 100th birthday. I'm not sure if I can blow out 100 candles, though. When I look back at all my birthdays, it's difficult to choose the best. I'll just say my last birthday is always the best one. Banks. I'm not the world's biggest fan of banks. I've had too many bad experiences of them. I really don't know how they can advertise and say they look after you. They don't. Bank charges are way too high. You spend ages waiting to be served, and then they say no if you want a loan. The bank I bank with makes dozens of mistakes with my account. The thing they're best at is making excuses. I'm not at all surprised so many banks did badly in the credit crisis. I hope they change. Bankers get far too much money. All they do is desk work. Banks need to focus a lot more on real customer service. At the moment, banks only offer an excuse for customer service. They don't even offer you a drink when you sit down and open an account. Baths. One of my favourite times of the day is bath time. I absolutely love taking a bath. Baths are so much better than showers. Having a bath is the most relaxing thing. There's nothing better in life than sinking into a hot bath and letting the water take away my troubles. A bath really makes you feel great. I especially like taking a bath before going to bed. Bath time is pretty much the only time of the day when you can really pamper yourself. It also means a lot of quality time to yourself. It's perfect for listening to music and reading a good book. The only thing I don't like about bath time is when I fall asleep and the water goes cold. Or even worse, when you want a bath and there's no hot water.